Mojo 50.
Taking life off track, sitting in for Watson Prunier, and it starts right now. Good Friday morning, everyone, on Mojo 50. Sean here, Mr. Rusty, Miss Melissa.
Good morning.
Yep, from Off Track. We do a show Sunday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Mojo 50. And we're filling in for Watson today. So we're going to get right into it. Hope you guys enjoy. My question is from an article. Can a relationship work if you don't agree on politics?
That's touchy. That's very sensitive.
Yeah.
Well, depending on how active they are politically, though.
That's a good point. And I think that brings me to my first thought when I started reading this. Well, first of all, none of us are single. Okay, so right now, none of us have to worry about that. Thank you. But recalling back to my youth, I wasn't political at all. So I can't go back and think, well, it was this way, or I thought this or that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, if I had to start dating again, Lord forbid that, yeah, I think it would matter a lot. It would absolutely matter. I'm not saying things would be deal breakers. It's, I mean, we'll get
They
into
might be.
because
it goes, well, when you're older, I think you realize that politics, even though it's kind of a crap show most of the time, but it's still, when you talk about political beliefs, it also goes down a value system.
Yep.
And those are your values and your beliefs and what you believe in. So that might be important when choosing a life partner.
Yeah, I think it's very important that I think couples who are dating get into issues such as this. They're like, oh, we're dating. I don't want to be rocking the boat, No, I think you need to rock the boat while you're dating. I think it's important looking back, because if you're just going to bow down to everything that makes you feel uncomfortable and just kind of sweep it under the rug, you're going to have issues later on. If you actually see it. If you don't see it, well, that's a different story. But
that's going down the road of being genuine.
Right.
And
absolutely.
be genuine up front. You don't wait till you get married to spill all your skeletons and if you believe something different.
Yeah, the article it started out as every time political arguments erupted at the holiday gatherings, and this is written by a lady, by the way. Her name is Michelle Toglia, I believe that's pronounced. Every time political arguments erupted at holiday gatherings when I was younger, I'd give a signal to my cousins to meet under the dinner table. It wasn't because we were scared of the tension between the family liberals and conservatives that seemed to pop up every year in between dinner and dessert at grandma's, but rather it was boring, difficult for us to understand, and there were never any resolutions, right? So more importantly, it was the perfect time to tap our relatives' feet and scurry away from the table before they could catch us. So growing up,
perfect,
right? Just kids get lost. Don't worry about it. Just go be kids, right? And then it goes into this. This is where I think our main topic probably lies. Growing up, most of the men in my life, or most of the men in my family, were conservative, and most of the women were liberal. Although my generation, that's no longer true. I think that is true these days. I don't think there's a distinct line. I'm sure there never was, but I'd say, like they said, most men conservative back then, most women liberal. I think it's completely blurred, right?
I don't know. It depends on it depends on how informed they are. I think
Also,
from what I run into, I still believe that most women are liberal and most white men are conservative. And that's stereotyping, I know, but
right.
I don't have any data in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think that your political ideologies are a direct reflection of your core values. And if you're going to be in a relationship, your values have got to be in line. I mean, you know, if you're dating a woman who believes, well, I can go get an abortion when I want to, and you know, you're whatever, or you get married, and then she says, well, I just went and did an abortion, you know, and it was your child. There's some problems there. So,
Yeah, well, just like you have to be in line on parenting also if you plan on having children.
yeah.
Yeah, they actually dip down into the subject of abortion on this, and you know, she
Really?
completely goes into the just being respectful. You know, even trying to get down to this part of the article. Where did it go? Where did it go? Because y'all jumped ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. It's you went where it took you, and that's great. I mean, it goes into not percentages, but yeah, I guess it does a little bit. I'm looking for the abortion part. Oh, yes. But like all differences between two people, religion, kids, lifestyle choices, what may be a deal breaker to some is not to others. When I think about what's most important to me and what my true deal breakers are, politics is not at the top. Sexism, racism, aggression, laziness, all deal breakers for this young lady. But if a partner respects my opinion, even if they don't agree with how I feel about the Second Amendment, probably not it's not a non-negotiable. Of course, that doesn't mean I couldn't be challenged in a relationship. There are certain issues that do mean a lot to me, like women's right to choose, where I'd imagine differences in opinion from a bigger hurdle. Differences in opinion form a bigger hurdle. Yeah. That is a huge one. And I guess if you're dating, if you're in a dating relationship that you're sexually active, if you're not using protection, that needs to be discussed severely, because if she gets pregnant and you didn't discuss, she wants to get an abortion, you don't. This situation I've actually been in when I was 24. I don't think we had differing views, but she was afraid of her daddy. We could say that much, you know. So
Were you also?
no, because I don't care. You know what? And I believe what I believe. I fought, but there's nothing I can literally do to stop that. So this is where, you know, men lose out. But, you know, back to can you be in a relationship and have differing views? Well, that's a deal breaker for me. I would never knowingly date anyone who was not pro-choice. I'm sorry, here I go. Who was not pro-life.
Yeah.
I stepped ahead already. I wouldn't do that. I think if I were to ever date again, there would be many questions. I think you kind of get a sense of a person. You do, but there's always those outlying issues, right? That you're not sure about. They might surprise you, like this lady. She's in favor of the Second Amendment, completely about women's choice. Two totally different outlooks for the majority, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usually one is, if you're Second Amendment, well, you're conservative.
Yeah, there's a line
right,
when people tote the party line.
Right, exactly. So this lady seems to be a little.
Well, yeah, women sometimes pro-choice. They want the men have no say in it until the child support hearing.
Right.
That's a big issue.
Yeah.
I mean, you get into, men don't get the choice on the abortion, and they don't get the choice
On the
when
support.
it comes to, like, okay, so I didn't want if it were the guy not wanting the child, but he doesn't get the choice to whether or not he pays child support.
Yeah, it's responsibility.
Absolutely.
Who's more responsible, the man or the woman?
What's the answer?
Exactly. Asking.
It's not, right? Is there an answer?
Controversially, yes.
Right. So I think, to me, that's like that's a really big issue. But I guess if you're getting into, okay, let's take the Second Amendment. Let's take that opposite subject here. Maybe people can date and have differing opinions on the Second Amendment, but they're just dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say they're not living together for the sake of the conversation. If it comes to a point to where they do want to move in together, that issue should probably, it doesn't have to, but it will probably grow. If let's just say she supports the Second Amendment and he doesn't, she carries a weapon. If they move in together and he doesn't want any guns in the house, then what?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How much of a man is that, really?
He's not.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yes.
But,
red flag. Red
oh,
flags.
Well, it is for our view, of course. You know, I mean, no, we're all about the Second Amendment here. We all know where we stand. But what happens then? You have to make a decision. You have to have the conversation. You cannot just, well, you can ignore it. A lot of people do. Oh, that's not a big deal. That'll go away. Or I'll change him, or I'll be able to handle that, you know. And no, it becomes a bigger issue, right? Usually.
Yeah.
Of course it does. That's what happens in marriages.
Yeah. And it's not just politics, of course, but
Mm-mm. Would you, Sean, if you were ever single, or before you got married, would you have ever dated an atheist?
no. Not knowingly, I don't think. It's actually funny you say that. I didn't, but yeah, there was this one girl, lady, whatever, who, she's not atheist. Is it
Agnostic?
Thank you, agnostic. Doesn't really know where she stands. Was raised religious or spiritually or whatever, and then got really educated. That's what this is coming from her. I just became too educated. Well, that doesn't mean you're right, but
What does that mean?
Well, she went to a lot of college and learned what man teaches.
Just because you're educated doesn't mean you're smart.
Doesn't mean you're educated either. Just no, right. It's an opinion thing. Wow, we have so many topics. We could fill in for Watson every Friday, as a matter of fact. Watson, if you want to take the, never mind. Yeah, I agree. But so what do? I personally, knowing it, dating, if I date someone, I'm not just dating to be dating. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
not that guy. I'm dating to be in a relationship. So if I'm in a relationship, I want to know more. I have principles. I try to stick by those as much as I can.
Well, dating's an interview.
But it seems that now
Should be.
it seems that now that a lot of the young people aren't looking for relationships. They're looking for hookups and then go your own way. Men and women. Or at least that's what's portrayed. Now, I don't know how true it is, you know, how much that is really happening.
I think it is. I think you're right, Rusty, because they say that the numbers of divorce have gone down, but so have the number of marriages.
I think that's a key thing too. What Rusty had said, I'm losing my train of thought all over tonight. Yeah, I think no one wants a commitment. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
They just want to play the field because they don't want to get hurt, and they don't want to do the tough things, you know. And on top of that, I think their generations back, where the divorce rate has went up over time, that their parents and their grandparents, a lot of them were divorced, and no one got taught what it means to be committed and having to do the right things and work on a relationship. Falling in love is not forever.
But does the fall of people realizing, you know, what commitment is, does that have anything to do with the fall of people not being in a religion? Because that commitment comes from, I guess, like your promise to God that you're going to be with somebody. That almost means nothing.
There's a covenant when you, I mean, you know, there's obviously other marriage ceremonies that are not, but if you get married under faith and God and take your vows in a church and yeah, it's not just, hey, I'm going to love you forever. There's days where you don't love your spouse, but you choose to. You have to choose to.
Yeah, it's
That's a covenant, and there's a thing called the triangle. Maybe it's just a triangle of marriage. It's where God's at the top, and then the husband is down one side, and the wife is down the other. And if you're both going to God, guess what? You get closer together. But if you're both going away from God, look, you keep getting further apart.
right.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
But that's what I believe. I'm sure that there's people out there who have successful marriages that don't believe in God. I don't know that, but I would guess that there is someone out there who does.
Well, I am not that I don't believe in God. I guess I'm sort of, I don't want to say agnostic. I don't know, you know, I don't know. I question it. I question,
Sure.
and
Well, you're supposed to question.
You wonder, you have questions at least.
yeah, and I want to have, at times I want to have the faith, and then at the other times I'm just like, no, it can't. I don't know. I'm conflicted a lot, but you know, I believe in keeping your word and working at marriage, and Lord knows I have to work to stay married to that lady all the time. No, I'm kidding.
It seems as though Melissa might have someone that loves her a lot.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. Dogs are the best.
Say hello to Gilly. Gilly is on Mojo. Gilly may be Mojo 50's
Mascot.
That is a beautiful mascot, Miss Gilly. Miss Gilly, how are you this evening? Does she have anything to say to us, Miss Melissa?
Well, I asked her what kind of day she had, and she said it was rough. So, poor thing.
Shit. Does Miss Gilly, does she date?
No. Mm-mm. No, I don't allow her to. She's too young.
Oh, the protective mother, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she doesn't even like the camera, does she? Turn her around.
Sure.
Hi, Miss Gilly. How are you?
It's like, where's the food?
Thanks, you guys, for having me on today.
Tell us a little bit about Miss Gilly.
Miss Gilly was my neighbor's dog, but my neighbor, she was abused and emaciated and kicked around, and we just decided we were going to take her from the neighbor.
Well, didn't she keep coming to your house? Because
she did when she was over. Yes, she was always at the back door or the front door, sniffing around. She got along really well with my son and me, and we used to have sleepovers before she was even our dog. But before I had her sleepover, I would take her, even before she was our dog, I would take her to the vet and got her vaccinations, got her the flea and heartworm stuff. And then I told Pat, I was like, yeah, taking the dog. That's it.
Yep.
Her grandson had dropped it on her doorstep basically and said, look, Grandma, I have a dog. See you later. And left her there.
She seems tired. She's going to take a nap on your lap now.
Yeah, she had a hard day of napping, which is making her nap even more now.
Right.
Well, I know if I lay around all day, all I want to do is lay around all day.
Mm-hmm. Even though my husband does not like dogs in the house, and this is what you call a marriage compromise, because
Okay.
when she's in the house with me, he's military, so he's gone a lot, but having a dog makes me feel more secure. But just doing this, just petting her and having her on my lap, it alleviates a lot of stress, a lot
She's
of
a little
stress.
support system. A little.
She
support
is. She's my support dog, but I won't take her on a plane.
We want
Gotta
to
get a support pony.
I'm pretty sure. No, you got to take Gilly to MojoCon. I think that's the compromise here, isn't it?
You want to go to MojoCon? Okay.
Get her a harness. What are they gonna say? No.
Yeah, true.
Get her a harness. Get you a stick with a red tip and dark sunglasses. You're set, girl. What's up? What are they gonna say?
Oh, this is the wrong show for me to say stuff.
Well, maybe Watson.
I don't want to disrespect Mr. Watson.
Oh, I'll tell you what. We had a great time with him last week, last Sunday, on our show Off Track. And
Can anybody listen to that? Was it recorded or podcasted somewhere?
It was. It's on Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher. I don't know where else. Rusty, tell me where else.
Yeah, SoundCloud, possibly on iTunes. Somebody can look that up.
We're out there.
I am so sorry I missed that. I missed that show, and
hey, you had stuff.
It was a great show. We are going to have Watson back on our show, Off Track, and of course, if you're going to look it up, you can look it up. It's under Off Track with Whiskey 6, and that is 6IX is how 6 is spelled. So, it's a good time. It's an adult show. It's not like what we're doing here. It's not at all. So, it's a good time though. So anyway, y'all are really quiet tonight.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to disturb you. You're on a roll.
No, I am not. Okay. Anyway, we can get back into this or whatever, but I want to ask the question on this, I suppose. What's the action you take besides look, you don't ignore the situation, obviously, right? You don't want to do what a lot of people do these days and just ignore it and think it'll go away. I said this a few minutes ago. When the red flags come up, I'm not saying they're deal breakers, but don't ignore it. Sit down, talk about it, and say, look, I think this is an important conversation that needs to be had, whether it's about politics, like Melissa said about children. What else did you say, Melissa? Money. Let's talk about money. All of these things need to be talked about when you're dating, and get down to the nitty gritty. Because if you don't get down to the real dirt of a situation while you're dating, it'll get real muddy when you're married, and it's going to get deep and muddy.
I think premarital counseling should be mandatory, because all of that stuff comes out, and all of the subjects you brought up, Sean, and some people don't believe in premarital counseling or counseling. It's not therapy; it's just counseling.
Right.
But a lot of people are afraid to, because they think a counselor is going to tell them all the reasons why they shouldn't get married, and that is absolutely not true. Counselors want you to get married. They just are trying to prevent you from being a repeat customer, if you know what I mean. They give you the tools, especially when it comes to kids. I say kids, but people that get married in their 20s, and people that get married that are looking to have a blended family. A counselor is going to navigate through those muddy waters you talked about and try to prevent the future argument. That way your expectations of marriage, your expectations are managed throughout the rest of your life with this person. So when adversity comes up, you already have the tools to handle it.
Yeah, I think a counselor and a good counselor, be choosy. Mm-hmm. Be very choosy of your counselor, whoever you speak with. And I'm going to lose my train of thought, but I'm going to go here anyway. Be very choosy on who you speak with. You think you can talk to your friends and all that. Your friends are biased. Your family, they're all biased. And for good reason. They're trying to look out for you. But wow, that went fast. It went really fast, folks. So, all right, well, stick around. I guess we'll meet you on the other side, right here. Off Track, filling in for Watson Pernier in Battle for Freedom. Stick around, folks. Dang it. I have no idea where I was going. What did I just say?
Also, I didn't have the, so watch your clock. I didn't have time to put the
Oh, yeah.
things in.
What was I saying? Be choosy, right?
You said be choosy when choosing a counselor. You
They
don't
don't
want
it's
to.
not that they want you to get married. Okay. Gosh dang it. Counselor getting married. You might see things. I don't know. What the hell did I just say before the music came on? So this is
Be
what's
choosy.
wrong with my brain, though.
You said be choosy.
I had a lot of things in my
of your
mind.
counselor.
Damn it. Hey, I'll do this way. Oh. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. Be choosy.
Now, what do you want?
I have 3 questions to throw in about to ask yourself when dealing with that. You can't be muted, Leroy. No,
I can be muted.
no, it won't play the sound.
I know. I was talking into my phone.
Okay. It's going to be coming back.
Mm-hmm. Hey, welcome back in. Off track, sitting in for Battle for Freedom and Watson Prunier this morning. Happy Friday. Dang it, we're glad you guys are all here with us this morning.
I want to know whose idea it was to get up this early.
I don't know, but this is some good tunes, man. We're got my coffee going. This is my American Pride Roasters coffee there, folks. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. And you can find all kinds of good stuff over there. Let me tell you, they've got one of my favorites is Burr Hamilton, and I think everyone's tired of hearing me talk about it. But there's Ron's Sexual Chocolate. There's Izzo's Rage. That's some hearty coffee, I think. Right? What else is there over there? They got some coffee.
It is. I like Doc Thompson's Bacon Blast and the Franklin are two of my favorites. But also, don't forget to if you place an order, don't forget to be out on Lee's Blend.
That so tell them about what that is.
Lee's Blend is a charity that Dave Matthews supports, and it's Lee's dying wish was to help the people of Africa, and it helps to make blankets, and besides that, the coffee is really good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very good coffee, and it's not real expensive. I mean, you want to pay for good coffee, right? You get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you're going to pay $4 a cup, if you go to, Starbucks,
That one place.
yeah. So, and you get a full pound of coffee when you order from them, where most of the other places you only get 12 ounces, I believe it is.
And 10, there's that one place you go to the grocery store and it's only 10 ounces.
Yeah.
So there you go. They do put it up there per pound, but they don't usually give you a pound. So Mojo, here, listen to me. American Pride Roasters will always give you a full pound. So anyway, there's our bell for the show. Ding-a-ling. And there's you. That's for you, Lep.
Also, let's tell folks to go to get our cigars over at uncommontalkradio.com. You can get a 3-pack of one of all of ours for $20.
25, I think.
I think she knocked it down to 20.
I hope not.
Oh,
sorry. I hope not. No, I think it's 25. I literally do, because it's
Anyway,
I think $9 each. $9 each, or 25 for 3.
But Uncommon Radio uncommontalkradio.com.
There it is.
Click the cigar.
Right. On the other side of the break, folks, we're talking about premarital counseling. And Melissa had mentioned how important that is. I can completely agree. Did I go through it? Yeah, I went through a little bit of it. I think everyone can use more. And I would just say, be choosy. That's what I was starting to say before we went to break. Be choosy on who you choose as a counselor. I think, look, this is one of the most important things you'll ever do in your life. Obviously, get married, and you're going to involve kids possibly. It can, and especially if it's a blended family, it's a big step to take. So, be choosy. Find someone who you know what they believe. If you can do that. I mean, I don't know if they'll give you any information if you call around. If it's faith-based, your church can hook you up with some faith-based counselors. I know that every church has avenues to do that. But and Melissa said that they're not looking to turn you away from marriage. Okay. But I think the important thing is that they may tell you things or bring light to situations that maybe you and your fiance or the person you're dating have not thought about. And it might make you think twice. And it's not a bad thing. Like I said, it may save you down the road. It's
the rest of your life.
Right. The rest of your life is a long time. As fast as it goes, it's a long time.
I believe if you go to psychologytoday.com, and there's a link on there, you can click find a therapist or find a counselor, and you put in your zip code. And then it has a list of how you can look for one, whether it's for family, for substance abuse, for personality disorders, and then it'll list also what insurance they take. So you can go there too.
Right. The professionals are there. Look, there's a lot of things that maybe you'll find out something at counseling that you don't know about yourself even. That's their job. They're professionally trained to do that, right? They may give you a different perspective on something you thought you were, stuck in concrete on. Not to say that they're there to change your mind, but your mind may be changed. It may happen. And that could be a good thing and save you a lot of trouble down the road.
Yeah. Here are 3 important questions to consider if you've come to an impasse in your relationship due to political differences. The following are some helpful questions to ask. 1, do you respect and accept your partner unconditionally? According to renowned couple therapist John Gottman, the antidotes to contempt within any relationship are fondness and admiration, both of which can be maintained and strengthened by expressing appreciation and respect. One of the most popular and contemporary approaches to couples counseling, the Gottman method, emphasizes the importance of nurturing gratitude by comparing your partner favorably with real or imagined others rather than trashing the partner by magnifying negative qualities and nurturing resentment. So
there you go.
John Gottman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That guy, let me tell you.
Yeah, the moment your relationship takes a turn towards disrespect, criticizing, belittling, whether triggered by politics or other, it may be time to seek help.
I talked about this on another show. I believe it might have been Life in Progress, Sean. We were talking about marriage and politics, and I said American Horror Story. Right after the season, right after the election of 2016, they based their season on politics, on the election, and that was one of the. I know it's fiction and ridiculous or whatever. I mean, I love it, but it was based on couples turning on each other because of the election. I think it was called Cult. The Cult or Cult 2017.
I don't recall that. Did you say it's a series?
American Horror Story started they use the same characters, give or take. And every season is a different genre. Like they had Coven for the witches. They had Asylum for the asylum.
Right.
Yes.
American Horror Story. That's kind of funny you say that because I'm sure that there are people out there who might think the election was an American Horror Story. Just saying.
Have you seen The View?
I'm not one of them, but you guys want to switch it up a little bit here? I got something else here I think you guys might enjoy.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, there's been a long-standing argument as to whether or not Jesus, I'm like the Jesus Christ, would stand for the Democratic or the Republican Party. And that's not where we're going, but that's kind of sets the tone here, right? This is another article. It's actually from July of 2016, but I think it's relevant throughout history regardless. 5 reasons socialism is not Christian. And it starts like this. Jesus confronted the money changers and challenged believers to give to the needy, but would he support socialism? Well, increasingly, Americans think he would. In fact, a recent Barna poll found that more Americans think Jesus would prefer socialism, 24%, than those who believe he would prefer capitalism, which is 14%. The other 62% responded neither or not sure, but the poll still reveals a disturbing trend. Last Saturday, which is obviously 6 years ago, it's been a while. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to get into the 5 reasons here. Here we go. Socialism is based on a materialistic worldview. Wow. That's kind of I never thought of socialism as, I guess it is materialistic, right? I mean, a lot of people think capitalism is, that you're all about getting your stuff and being rich, right?
Right.
Okay, well, this says otherwise. According to socialists like Bernie Sanders, the great problem in the world is the unequal distribution of wealth. Well, we're not distributing wealth. That's the whole point. Don't distribute wealth. Because when you do, that's called socialism. So it's not about equal or not equal. You don't do that.
No. What about equal distribution of work?
Yeah.
Now it's education. Now it's healthcare. Now it's,
I mean, instead of having half the population be in the workforce. Now, look, I get it. I know where you're going. There's not enough jobs to go around. Well, they might have a point there. And it's not about job creation. This goes back to my thoughts as where we've come from history. We didn't used to work for anybody. We supplied for ourselves.
You can have this conversation snowball into the immigration debate.
You can have it snowball into anything you'd like. There's many different avenues that this can go down. But like I said, people didn't used to work for anyone else. Way back. People used to farm and hunt and survive. Yes, and have livestock.
No, it was called serfdom way back, and you did work for somebody. You worked under the rule of the king, and you give.
Not everyone lived under a king, though. Depends on where you lived, right? But let's not even go back.
That's where Robin Hood came from.
Let's go back to Kansas in the 1700s. There was no king, and a lot of people didn't work for anybody. They worked for themselves. They grew their vegetables.
We weren't in Kansas in the 1700s, but
whatever.
But you had to share and sell and trade.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, look, everybody's farming. They're raising their livestock. They're doing everything. So before that, let's go to the Indians. This isn't even about America. It's not about America. Earl Pitts. America.
Indians, Indian or feather?
Sure. Yes. Whatever. Any of them.
Actually, you can say that the Indians sort of lived under a socialist sort of rule too, because they had a leader or a king or a chief.
Community. Sure.
That and he pretty much told everybody what they had to do and when you had to go fight and when you had to go get food, and so I don't.
Well, maybe Rusty's a socialist.
No, I'm just saying.
Do you understand my point, though?
Yeah,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
actually America, the idea of America that made people free to come here and do, take care of yourself, and it used to be all about that, and now it's not. Now it's you come here and we're going to give you all this crap, and we are living in a very socialist society right now. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all that crap, and we have slowly moved that way from about the 50s and 60s is when all that shit started. Really, well, earlier than that. Our favorite
New Deal.
New Deal, and I don't know all the particulars, but it wasn't good. Government trying to fix every damn thing, and they didn't have no need in getting in the stock market, and anyway, that's all.
Stressful.
Yeah. That's just it, huh? Okay. Says here, to socialists, all that really exists in the material world. In fact, Karl Marx, the father of socialism / communism, invented the notion of dialectical materialism. The the belief that matter contains a creative power within itself. This enabled Marx to eliminate the need for a creator, essentially erasing the existence of anything non-material. That's a whole nother ball of wax. Wow. I mean, not even that one guy's product will fix that. Woo. That's not, why is that even relative here? Come on. I know it's Karl Marx, but anyway, basically the worldview of that, which is Karl Marx, contradicts Christianity, which affirms the existence of both a material and a non-material world, and teaches that mankind's greatest problems are spiritual. The Bible says the cause of suffering is sin, and salvation is found in the cross of Christ, which liberates us from sin. Because of sin, there will always be inequalities in wealth. And that's true. Because you get a guy who's out here willing to do anything and everything, no matter who he screws over, to get a dime. And then you have the guy who wants to do things right, who's getting his things taken from him, from the guy who's a jerk. I completely agree with this. You will never stop, even under socialist rule. I think it's possibly more. I think you'll have more guys like this, more people who are willing to go out and steal. They want more than everyone else. They don't want it to be equal. That's criminal mindset, right?
Absolutely.
It is. It's entitlement. It's
right.
Entitlement mindset.
Yeah, they think that they deserve more than anyone else, or maybe they have some chemical imbalance or mental flaw within them that says, I just have to have what you have. And you're not going to give it to me, so I'm going to take it. Well, that's exactly what, to me, it's what I read here. That's the sin part. So I don't think you'd ever stop that. I don't think you'll ever stop it.
No, because humans are flawed. And so is human nature. And I mean, it could be diagnosed. I mean, there's kleptomania, but that's totally different. And looting when you have a blackout.
Oh, yeah.
Would you ever do that?
No. No, I wouldn't. That bothers me to watch that stuff, actually. They don't.
I guess it depends on the situation, how bad it.
What'd you say, Rusty?
I guess it depends on the situation, on how bad they overall. I don't know. I mean, if you got to survive, and there's no way, if you're in a urban setting and everything is shut down, and there is no changing of money, there is no black market. Well, if there is a black market, it's only because it's been stolen in the first place and you're trying to buy it. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I would act in that to be honest.
But in today's world and all the scenarios you see on TV, if you're watching it on TV, there's no one who's in that dire of a situation. They can just go wait for things to calm down and go to work, go get a job. But if you're talking about the apocalypse, whole nother story.
Oh, the zombies.
We're all here to
yeah.
survive. And yes, I'm packing a lot of ammo.
That's unequal.
Oh, is it? I will carry lots of unequalizers and stuff and things and whatever. But I think a lot of that boils down to character too. The difference between, and this isn't even in the article, I think there's some differences in socialism as opposed to capitalism. Now, there's extremes to both of those, of course, but if you want to bring them even near to the center, to where, like Rusty said, we do actually in America live in a socialistic type of nation because we have social programs. Some of them might be needed to an extent. You don't want to
welfare is absolutely needed. It's just
right.
overly, it's abused.
It's abused, right? Capitalism is also abused as well.
Crony capitalism, yes.
Sure, both ends.
Churches took care of that before all
they
of
used
the
to.
welfare. Yeah, well, who stopped them from doing that?
The government.
Yeah. I mean, the government still helps, but they pretty much.
Well, they don't help. The government doesn't help anything.
No.
The government takes from us, and I don't mean us as in me. Well, they do. I pay taxes. The government takes from the people, period. No matter, well, I guess you get below a certain income level, you might pay taxes in, but you're getting it all back and possibly someone else's as well, right?
Yeah, you're getting more than you.
Right. Damn, I know I've paid a lot of people's incomes for the whole year in taxes alone sometimes.
Yeah, it needs to be
that's stressful.
10% across the board.
Yeah, I like the flat tax. I do.
Oh, this flat tax,
I'm sorry.
I do agree with that.
I misspoke. The percentage, the 10% of, and see, people are like, well, 10%, that's not enough for a guy who's rich. Well, you're not very smart because 10% of $1 million is a whole lot more than 10% of your 10,000. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, it's equal.
It is equal. They want equality. You're right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's equal. So
I think that's well, I know the politicians don't want it, but I think they would make more on it.
Yeah.
Right? Because even if the guy who's below the poverty line is paying his fair share, his 10%, that's fair. Because the guy who's everyone, that is just the fairest way you can be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of them don't want fair. They say fair, but they just want control.
That's all they want is control. We all know that.
Man, are we
not
bored or what?
What?
We're all over the place.
Whatever. This is where the conversation goes. Yeah. And then there's a Gilly puppy.
Yeah, she's saying she wants it fair too.
Well, she gets bones, and hey, look, she is a socialist. Any dog or kid is a socialist until they move out.
That's it.
That's true too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every kid is a socialist. Should they be working around the house? Yes, they should be.
Mm-hmm.
Work for what you get. Learn how to work before you leave the house. It says here socialism punishes virtue. Not sure about that, but socialists want to distribute wealth to individuals according to their need, regardless of virtue.
Right.
Karl Marx famously said, from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs.
Then somebody has to pick what your needs are for you. Well, you don't need that.
Well, they don't. Right. That's in a government situation. I look at this. If you want to look at this through spiritual lens, and this is my own spiritual lens, no one else's. I mean, maybe other people hold the same opinion, but if I have an ability and I can help someone who's in need from my ability, like what you said earlier, help was made by the church and the people of when I say the church, that means the people of God. Yeah. It's not a building.
that's what tithing was all about. Was
Well, it is,
so that
right.
people that needed help, and then
Well, it goes to build the church as well, and push the message of Christ.
the building fund.
Right. Well, there is that, absolutely. But to me, I know we're going completely off track here again. The whole church thing. A lot of people relate church with Christianity or church with any religion, honestly. To me, it's more about a personal relationship with God, because that happens. That's 24/7. You might only go to church 1 hour, 2 hours a week. So, right, if you leave church and you're going back to your old ways, your other ways, well, what is that?
Hypocriticism.
Well, it is, right. Obviously, we all fall. We are all sinners. We're human, and we're not perfect. But that doesn't mean you just use it as an excuse, right? We all have to live up to or own up to things. Damn. Had to do a lot of that lately.
Well, if you're a Catholic, all you have to do is go to confession and you're forgiven. Well, you have to do a penance after you go to confession, but.
Are you Catholic?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't sound so sure.
I am a questioning Catholic, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm losing a little audio here for a second. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it was you. Oh.
Was it me?
No, I don't know what's up. Maybe it's me. Who knows?
It's not you, it's me.
It's not you. It's always me. Yeah, but look, if someone's down, give them a hand up. That's what makes us human. You want to create unity in people? Give them a hand up, and that doesn't mean a hand out.
Mm-mm.
Get them on their feet, like our fine folks, Kevin Cuddle from Veterans.
Crusaders for Veterans.
I'm like
Crusadersforveterans.com.
Yeah, you want to tell them about that?
Crusaders for Veterans, Kevin Cuddle, he's a veteran and he does a lot of work for veterans and for the VA, but his current project right now is trying to build a community for veterans. And the community is located in proximity to the VA, so you can stay there temporarily, 30 to 60 days while you get your treatment, and all transportation is provided for you. But if you decide you want to stay in the community, you have to work to stay there. You have to help build your house, and you help garden, and you help take care of the landscaping, and everything else is provided. Counseling, psychotherapy counseling, dog parks, all of that.
Well, there it is. That's it, folks.
Crusaders for Veterans.
How are we going to wrap this thing up? Crusadersforveterans.org. Go check them out. There's some great people, seriously.
They are.
But I think we went around a lot of subjects today, but I think I want to leave you guys with, if you see someone in need, do what you can. If you can do a little bit matters, right?
Be excellent to each other.
That's a movie.
His words right there.
That's a movie, right?
Abraham Lincoln said that in the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
Here it is. And of course, party on. Oh my goodness. You guys are funny. Well, folks, seriously, it's been great. We appreciate Watson letting us sit in this morning. Hope to see you back someday. Maybe we'll have our stuff together a little better.
Yeah.
Or at least I will.
Hopefully. Snuck up on us. I turned around and was like, oh, crap.
Well, don't turn around. Why are you turning around? We're leaving you here, Rusty. We got to go. Bye-bye, Rusty.
No, wait, don't.
What? You got the show, man. You want to take us out?
No, I don't even know how long this music is that I put in here.
Wait, you mean to tell me you made this? Aren't you directing the band?
No, I started.
I thought we was trying to end the show. I got things to do this morning. It's Friday, man. It's almost
Friday.
noon. It's almost noon, bro. What's up?
No.
AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
uncommontalkradio.com. Get our cigars. Who else?
Click cigars and then click off track.
This is a long outro. I think they're tired of us. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, guys.
Stay tuned.
Hey, the Daily Mojo, right? Coming on right now. Right now. Brad, Handy J, and Ron. That
Netflix and
wonky-eyed-
chill day. Netflix and chill.
Oh, that's
wonky-eyed
right.
El Jefe guy. That's right. Netflix, chill, and oh, by the way, Brad, Handy J says you're fired. Okay. Yeah, we'll see you Sunday. Au revoir. Sayonara. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to tune in every Sunday night to Off Track on Mojo.
Bye-bye.